today we're going on quite a journey because I'm showing you not only this head, but a couple of different ways you can make bodies to put this head on. So you can make the head to hang up and as a decoration on itself, or you can display him on a balloon body and in other ways, other exciting ways, which I'm going to show you. For this sculpture, I'm using these link balloons, which have a tip at the end, allowing us to connect the balloons together very easily and very quickly. I'm inflating these link balloons to 4.5 inches in diameter, which is 4 strokes of my balloon hand pump. I'm then going to put a twist in the neck to trap the air, and then I'm just going to hold on to that neck of the balloon against the side of my hand pump whilst I inflate the next balloon to the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrap the necks of the balloons together and tie. To add a single balloon to our pair, simply inflate the balloon to the same size with 4 pumps of air to 4.5 inches in diameter. Put a twist in the neck, take hold of one of the tips and cross the necks over one another, wrap around once, twice and tie. And to add a pair of balloons, just cross the tips over one another, wrap around once, twice and tie. So it forms a chain of these link balloons, and we're going to make different lengths of chains in a combination of colours. Inflate your balloon with 1 stroke of the hand pump to 3 inches in diameter and tie the balloon. We're going to split this balloon approximately in half. So place your fingers either side of the neck and nozzle. And we're going to rotate our hands in opposite directions. So this hand will rotate this way, this hand will rotate forward. So squeeze the balloon and as you do so, twist. And then twist it several times and then take the neck and nozzle and wrap it around several times. So that is split that balloon approximately in half. The bubbles don't have to be exactly the same size. And then we're going to take this split pair and take either the knot, a nozzle, or the tip of one of the link balloons and just wrap it into that split and then tie that together. Okay. Inflate one of the link balloons to 4.5 inches in diameter. So for me, that's 4 strokes of this hand pump. I put a twist in the neck and tie. You're going to need 2 5-inch balloons and inflate each one with 2 strokes of the hand pump to approximately 3.5 inches in diameter. 1, 2, remove from the hand pump straight away, put a twist in the neck and tie. And then tie your 5-inch balloon inflated to 3.5 inch is to one end of the Linky balloon, and do the same thing with the other balloon inflated to 3.5 inches. So these are your connectors. Inflate the link balloon with 4 strokes of the pump to approximately 4.5 inches in diameter. Put a twist in the neck and tie. I'm now going to inflate a 5-inch balloon with 2 strokes of the hand pump. So that's to 3.5 inches in diameter. I'm putting a twist in the neck and then I'm going to tie this directly to the link balloon, wrapping around once, twice and tie. Inflate this next balloon with just 1 stroke of the hand pump. Put a twist in the neck and tie. We're going to split this balloon in half. So put your fingers on either side of the neck and nozzle and grip firmly and confidently. And as you do so, twist. So twist your hands in opposite directions. And then take that neck and nozzle, wrap it around. So you split that balloon in half. And take hold of the tip end. Wrap the tip into the split in the middle of those 2 bubbles, and then just tie the tip onto that neck of the black balloon. These are your different styles of connectors. You need to make 10 of these, 5 of these, and 9 like this. Your 2 chains of 3 link balloons are going to form the chin. So they will go up the sides of the jawline and come to a point like this. Take one of your chains of 4 balloons and wrap it into this section here. So just wrap those 2 split duplets around to connect them together. Next, take a chain of 5 link balloons, and you've got the split balloons on each end, and take one of those split balloons and just wrap it into this section along here. So just wrap those around to connect. And I want you to tie the tips of the linky balloons of the 2 chains of 3 together here. And just wrap it into this section here. Next, take a chain of 4 balloons, and this is the chin where we put the split balloon, and we're going to take this chain of 4 and we're just going to wrap that into section there. Okay, so this is your chin, and then we're just going to lay the balloons over one another so they form a cross here. Next, we've got a chain of 5, and again take the split balloon, and in this last section along the jawline just wrap that split balloon around the link balloons, and then with the rest just rest the balloons along these other balloons here. So this is what it looks like at the moment. And then I've got a chain of 4, and I'm going to attach the split pair to the end of this side of the jaw. So I'm going, because we've not got anything on the end here, I'm just going to wrap that in and around a few times, and then tie that tip onto the end just to make sure it's really secure. And then I can just lay the balloons over the top of the others that are coming up from this side. And I've got another chain of 4 balloons with the splits on the end, and we're going to go over to the other side of the jawline. So the chin is here, and this is the other side of the jaw, and just take the tip from the link balloon, wrap it around a few times, and then tie it onto the neck of the split balloon. So this is what you've got at the moment. I've got a pair of link balloons and no split balloons on the end. So this is the jawline, chin at the bottom, and we're going right to the other end with this pair of balloons, and we're going to position them over the top of here, so just where the balloons intersect, and then take one of the tips and wrap that around the split pair here, and just tie the tip onto the end, and then position that over the other balloons here where they intersect to form a cross, and then take the other tip and wrap that into the split balloon at the top here. Wrap it around and tie that on to the nozzle. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side with this pair so you can see more easily. So that's the jawline and that's the chin. So we've gone to the top of the head here, and we're positioning this pair here. So just take one of the tips, wrap it into the split balloon and tie onto one of the nozzles. Position that over the top where the two balloons intersect, and then take the tip and wrap it into this split balloon here and tie. So that's what we've got so far. Next, you're going to need your connector balloons, and I'm starting at the top of the head. So you've got a row of 3 crosses here. Take one of the small balloons from your connectors, just pass it through the center of one of the crosses, wrap it round, and so it sits upright like this, almost like a bowling pin. Go to the next cross along the top of the head and wrap that in. And then across the top of the head, wrap your next connector in. Don't worry about all this moving. So you've got your crosses at the top connected. I'm using a connector that only has one black balloon, and I've gone to the chin, so that's the chin, and then just straight up from the chin we've got this intersection of balloons, and I'm going to wrap the black small balloon through the center of that cross, push it back underneath, so you've got this green balloon poking up and it looks rather like a bowling pin. And I'm going to go up to the next row where the balloons intersect and just pass that connector through. And I'm going to do the same thing for the next one along, just passing the black balloon underneath and wrapping around. And for where the balloons cross here, so that's the top of the 3 balloons in line for the jaw, I'm using one of our connectors with the split balloon at the top. I'm using the balloon that isn't split to wrap into the balloons there. With this connector, I'm going to go across to the other side. So we've got the chin here, the 3 lines of balloons for the jawline, and where the balloons intersect here, I'm going to pass the black balloon underneath and wrap around. Another one of these connectors, and that's going to go in between the other 2 like this. So just pass that into the center and wrap it around. And then look for the crossed balloons in between these connectors and the black connectors, and we're going to position these here, just wrapping them around. I'm going to do the same thing with the cross here, always making sure that the split balloon is pointing upwards. Okay, so that's what you've got so far. And we can now work our way around the head, adding the connector balloons around the outside. Okay, and I've got the 2 split balloons just underneath the green balloons, just holding them in position. So this is what you've got so far, and this is the back. I've got a chain of 5 balloons, and I'm going to wrap the end of this chain into balloons here. Okay, and then position the balloon here and just wrap the split duplet around the section here. Okay, so this is the top of the side of the monster's head, and then we're going to take these balloons across the top of the head. So just wrap around the connectors, going over the top of the head and then back down the side. So we're just going to pull the tip into the connector balloon there, the split balloon, sorry, and tie the tip onto a neck and nozzle. I'm just tying it twice, okay? So that's just squared off the top of the head a little bit. So wherever you find these split bubbles around the side of the head, just wrap in a connector. So this is what you've got. And the back, I've got a chain of 3 balloons with a split balloon at each end, and then I have another chain of balloons, and this one has a split balloon at just one end. And then I'm just going to take the tip of this and wrap it into the split balloon on the other chain, and I'm going to tie the 2 nozzles, the 2 tips together. Okay, and I'm tying those twice. Okay, and then we're going to wrap this central split balloon into the chin. Okay, so this is the chin, and we've got the jawline coming up here. So that central split balloon just gets wrapped into the chin, and then we can bring the other chain, the rest of the chain, up the side of the jawline and just wrap into the top of these connectors. Okay, and then we can go round to the other side. So we've got the chin here, we're going up the other side of the jawline, just doing exactly the same thing. I've got a chain of 4 with split balloons on the end, and I'm going to go and position this along this section here. So you've got the chin, the pointy part of the chin, and we're going up this side here. So starting with the green split balloon, I'm just going to wrap that into the round balloon at the top. And then I'm going to wrap these in along here into the split balloon with the black split balloon, and then the end of your chain of 4 wraps into there. Again, we're using a chain of 4 balloons with a green split balloon and a black split balloon on the end. This is the chin, so move up 1 balloon and wrap these split balloons into the green balloon there. Okay, and then just wrap the chain into the next green balloon here. So you can see the chin starting to form here, and then we go up 1 balloon here, 1 connector balloon here, move up, wrap into the split connector and then wrap into the black balloon here. Okay. This time I've got a chain of 4 green balloons plus a black link balloon. So again, starting at the chin, that's the chin. Move up 1 balloon, 2 balloons, and at this section here, wrap your split balloon into the green balloon there. Okay, and then just, we're following the diagonal, so wrap that into the chain, move along to your black split balloon and wrap that in, move along to your next black split balloon and wrap that in, move along to the black 5-inch balloon size to 3.5 inches, and then at the end here wrap into the black balloons there. I've got another chain of 5 balloons, 4 green and 1 black, and this one we're starting at the chin, going up 1 balloon, 2 balloons, and we're going to wrap the green split balloon into there. And then angle that upwards, wrap into there. So we're forming the cross, then into the black split balloons, wrap around into the next black split balloons, and then we're going up into this black 5-inch balloon and then wrap into the one at the end. Okay. This time I've got a chain of 4 balloons. The black one has got a split balloon on it, the green one hasn't. Just take the tip of the green balloon and we're going to wrap it into this section here. So you've got the chin there, count 1, 2, 3, and at the end here, wrap the tip or the nozzle of that link balloon into the cluster of balloons and then tie it onto one of the nozzles. Okay? And then we're going to follow the diagonal and we're going to wrap this into the black split balloon and into the next black split balloon. And then we're going to wrap that into the black balloon. And we're going to wrap the split. So this is the top of the head, and that's the side of the head, and 1 balloon along, and we're going to wrap that in there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm wrapping in the tip of the link balloon and then tying it onto one of the nozzles that I can find. Okay, and then I'm following the diagonal here, wrapping it into the 5-inch balloon here, and then taking that to the top of the head and wrapping that in there. Same thing on the other side, a pair of link balloons, wrapping the tip into this cluster here. And then I'm following the diagonal up here, wrapping into the black balloon there, and then taking this to the top of the head and wrapping that in there. I've now got a chain of 5 balloons. For the eyes, I'm using these eyeball print balloons, but if you can't get these, don't worry. 1, 2, 3. So I've inflated that to 4 inches in diameter, so 3 strokes of the hand pump and tie. Don't worry if you can't get these eyeball print balloons. Just use a white 5-inch balloon and a black Sharpie to draw your own eye. Next, I've got a 260 twisting balloon that I'm folding in half, putting my fingers through like this, and then just wrapping round to create a loop, okay? And then I'm just going to put that loop over the knot, pull that tight, and then tie a knot. I find it easier to just rest the head upside down on the hair because it's flatter, the chin's pointy. And I'm going to add my eyeballs here, so above this black split duplet and in between these two. And I'm just going to pull the tails through, push my hand through to the back. Okay, so I've grabbed hold of those tails here at the back. Yep, so it's there at the front. Bring it through to the back. And then I'm just going to tie these ends together. And then loop that knot over one of the black balloons. Okay, and do the same thing with the other eyeball. For the eyebrows, I've inflated a 350 with a long tail, and I'm going to wrap the end of the 350 into this split here, wrap it around a few times, and then I'm going to take the balloon up to this split duplet here and twist a bubble, and then I'm going to pull the split duplet outwards and pull the 350 into that split duplet. Okay, and then give your balloon a little squeeze and take it down to this central split duplet and twist a bubble and wrap that into the split balloon. Okay, I haven't got enough to finish off the eyebrows. You may have, so if you want to carry on, by all means, but I'm going to cut off my balloon here, tie it off, and then add in another balloon and just finish off the eyebrow. I've inflated an 11-inch balloon to approximately 6.5 inches, and I've attached a 260 as I did for the eyes. And I'm just going to pass the tails from this 260 through this hole below the eyebrows. Attach hold of the tails at the back, pull the tails through to the back, and wrap them around one of the 5-inch balloons at the back here. I've inflated a 260 to a tail of about 3 fingers, and I've left a long stretchy bit at this end. I'm just going to make a loop of about 4 fingers and twist, and then I'm going to pass the knot and nozzle through the centre. It's going to help ensure that loop doesn't come undone. Squeezing the balloon to make sure it's soft. Make another 4-finger loop. So they should be similar in size. They don't have to be exact. And then I'm going to snip off the end, let out the air, and then tie that in a knot. These loops are going to be the nostrils, so I'm just going to position these underneath the nose. And then I'm just going to take this long bit over the top of the nose, back down to the loops, and then I'm just going to tie on to the tip end. For the mouth, I've inflated a 260 to a tail of about 4 fingers, and I'm going to wrap the end into this side here. So wrap that in and around a few times, and then I'm going to bring the 260 up underneath the nose. I'm just going to take a look at this because I want him to have a bit of a snarl. You can create different looks for him. You can go up and around and into the other end, and he can have quite a downward droopy mouth, looking very unhappy. This next stage, ideally you should do it before you add the face, but I've been very silly and I have forgotten to add my filler balloons. So I can do that now, but when you're doing this, just do it. It's better to do it before you add the face, but it's not a disaster. So for the corner here, I have made a cluster of 3 of the link balloons, and I'm just going to pull that into here and use this to just plump out the face and also to hide some of the holes, because without the filler balloons you can see straight through. So for example, at the bottom here you can see straight through to the back. So I've got a chain of 3. And then just secure with the tail. So I've decided to add a little bit more detailing to the eyebrows, and I'm going to add a 260. I have a long tail of maybe 5 fingers or so, and I'm just going to wrap that knot into this split balloon here. Okay, and then take it to the bridge of the nose and then make a twist. And then I want to make another bubble that is very similar in size. And then I can take this over to the end here and just wrap that in. And then I can just slip this underneath those 2 black bubbles, and then pull these up over the eyes, and they just give the eyes a bit more of a hooded look. There's something else I need to do apart from cut this off the end. I've got another 350 with a long tail, and I'm going to fill in the eyelids a little bit more. So I'm just wrapping that 350 into the 2 bubbles there. For the neck bolts, I've inflated a 260 twisting balloon with a very long tail. So I think I inflated this with about 4 strokes of the hand pump that I use. And I'm just going to make some small loops of 2 to 3 fingers. Okay, and if you can, pass that knot and nozzle through the centre. If you can't, don't worry too much. Give your balloon a squeeze and make another loop of about the same sort of size. I like to make 1 twist and then compare it to the previous loop, and it's a little bit big, so I can just reverse the twist and have another look and then twist some more when I'm happy with that. Okay, so squeeze your balloon again to make it soft and make another small loop. If these loops aren't exactly the same size, don't worry. If you struggle twisting, you can stop there, and you've got a perfectly serviceable bolt for your Frankenstein's monster's head. I'm going to carry on and make another couple of loops. So just make however many loops you are comfortable with. I'm going to make another small loop, having a look, twisting, and I'm going to make one more loop. So this is how we would make a flower, a daisy flower. So if you can make a daisy flower, you can make neck bolts for your Frankenstein's monster as well. Okay, so let's just rearrange these loops. Okay, so that's what you've got. And you need quite a long stem actually for these bolts because they do disappear into the neck quite a long way. That's ruined it. He's going to fall over now, I think. I'm just going to snip off the end and then put my scissors down on the table, make a twist and tie a knot. Okay, and then we can add the neck bolts. I like to count one from the chin and up 2 balloons, and then I like to put them in here. So you can pressure fit them and you can use the tail on that 260 silver just to wrap them in a little bit and secure them in position. This also means that your Frankenstein's head is very durable, and these designs do last a long time. And because they are double-sided and have this sort of sandwich structure, the structure doesn't curl inwards, unlike a lot of other displays that aren't double-sided. Now let's make a body for our Frankenstein head, and this is the first of 2 body types that I'll be showing you how to make. I'm inflating an 11-inch balloon to 7 inches. Size the balloon using your sizing box, just passing the balloon through the hole so it just touches the sides of the opening. Put a twist in the neck and tie. Inflate another 11-inch balloon, this time to 6 inches. Pass the inflated balloon through the sizing box hole, just letting air out little by little until the balloon will just touch the sides of the hole, and then put a twist in the neck and tie. Tie your 7-inch and 6-inch balloons together. I'm inflating 12-inch Linky balloons to 9 inches. Pass the balloon necks over one another, wrap around once, twice and tie. Tie your pairs of Linky balloons together. Connect together 6 pairs of Linky balloons to form a chain of 12 balloons. Fold your chain in half so you've got 6 balloons in each length, and wrap the first 4 balloons together. Move down the chain and wrap the next 4 together. And then at the end here, tie together the last pair. I like to tie this twice, and at the top here I'm going to tie that in a second knot. I'm inflating 5-inch balloons to 3.5 inches in diameter. That's with 2 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump. So put a twist in the neck once you've inflated, wrap the necks over one another, wrap around twice and tie. So that's 3.5 inches. Take your small 3.5-inch connector balloons and just connect them to the centre here wrap around. And connect your 5-inch balloons sized to 3.5 inch to this section also. And also connect and add your connector balloons here, here and here. I'll just swap them around. And add your small balloons to the top and to the bottom. Add your filler balloons, and the 7-inch balloons will be the back of your display and the 6-inch will be the front. Connect the back of your sculpture with the 7-inch balloons to your lamp base. I'm using a 260 twisting balloon, and I'm just passing that through the balloons and tying onto the lamp base. I would normally use a balloon in a colour that matches the sculpture, but I've chosen a colour in a contrasting colour to help you see what I'm doing. And tie on at the base also. And then this is the front with the 6-inch balloons pointing forward. This is half of the Frankenstein monster's body, so make another one of these. Use your 3.5-inch connector balloons to connect the two sides of the sculpture together. And just work your way down the sculpture. So this is what you've got at the moment. Inflate 2 5-inch round balloons with 3 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump. So that's to 4 inches in diameter approximately, and tie together. Make another one of these. Connect your balloons together at the centre to form a quad. We're inflating the green balloons for the hands with 4 strokes of the hand pump. So that's to 4.5 inches in diameter. Make another one of these. And just tie the neck of the single balloon and then wrap that neck into the necks of the pair to form a cluster of 3. Connect your balloons together at the centre to form a cluster of 5. I've tied a 260 to a cluster of 4. Take another cluster and connect it to the first cluster. Okay, just by wrapping the 260 around. Continue until you've got 9 layers. Add your final green layer of 5 balloons, sized to 4.5 inches. You're going to need 2 of these. I've attached some 260 twisting balloons to the head, and I'm using these 260s to connect the head both to the body and to the frame. I've also attached a 260 at the chin, and I'm just pulling that 260 through the back of the sculpture and tying it in at the back. And I'm also using 260s to connect the arms, both at the shoulder and further down. And I'm going to angle one of the arms slightly inwards just to give a bit more movement to the design. And if you want to go even bigger, here's how you can create a balloon arch around your Frankenstein monster head. Inflate 2 11-inch balloons and size to 9 inches. So just pass the balloon through the hole and then put a twist in the neck, and then pass the other balloon through the hole. And just when the balloon is touching the sides, that's when you need to remove it. Wrap the necks around once, twice, and tie. Make another one of these. Connect your pairs together at the centre to form a cluster of 4. Make another 2 quads sized to 7 inches. Separate 2 of the balloons in your quad and pass them around the pole, and then just swap the 2 balloons and cross them over one another and push down slightly, just so that the balloons grip the pole. Now add your 7-inch cluster in the same way, wrapping around the pole and just pushing down slightly. And it's important that the balloons in your bottom layer sit between 2 balloons in your top layer. And now add your black clusters in exactly the same way. So passing 2 balloons between the pole, wrapping the pole around and pushing down. Just carry on adding your black balloons, wrapping them around the pole and pushing down. I've used the smaller lime green balloons here just to give the impression of a wrist. I've reached one of the connection points on my frame, so I just need to be a little bit careful because my frame is connected together with these wing nuts, and I have taped together the sections of my frame. I've used electrical tape in this instance because this is a painted frame, and I would normally use gaffer tape, but for this frame the gaffer tape does tend to pull away the paint a little bit, so I find that the electrical tape is much better. So I'm now just going to be very careful attaching my next cluster because I'm going to just push it underneath the wing nut, just below the level of the wing nut, and then wrap 2 of the balloons around. Build up both sides of your arch, leaving a gap of about 3 feet at the top of the arch. I've attached 260 twisting balloons to the back of the Frankenstein head, and I'm using these 260s to tie the head onto the frame. If you're creating an arch for outdoor use, I recommend instead of the 260s you use braided nylon line or braided polyester line to connect the head to the arch, as this will be a much more secure connection.